How's it going, guys? Girls, Rob here, and I am outside the house today. And the reason I am, I'm getting ready for my trip, getting ready for a couple of fishing trips I'm going to do. And you think, well, it's not a lot I got to do to get ready for fishing, but a little thing here, a little thing here, a little thing here, a little thing here, a little thing here adds up, and after a while, it takes a little bit of time. So, first off, anytime I go fishing, number one thing I have to worry about is my fishing license. Okay. And how often do you go somewhere and you're like, oh, I left it in the car? Oh, I left it at home. It's happened to me more times than one. Well, in the state of Virginia, you can get them. And when you do get them, you can buy them at Walmart now. And trout is extra. And each little part of it's extra. Okay. But um, I bought mine at a local Walmart and decided on the day that I went fishing that I wanted the second one, backup pretty much, something to keep in the car, keep in my pocket, wherever. So what did I do? I went to another Walmart, told them I'm not near home, and at the time I wasn't near home. Had the other one in my pocket, but they didn't have to know that. And said, I'd like for you to run me off another copy of my license. It's in your computer system. Told them my name, um, address, I think it's all I had to have, or something like that. Didn't even have, I think I may have had to show them my driver's license. Anyway, they printed me up another one. 30 seconds, a minute later, had me another one. So then I had two. So I always like to leave home with at least two copies of my license. Next thing, I decide whether I'm planning on keeping fish or whether I'm planning on throwing them back. Um, well, first off, let's back up a little bit. First off, decide where you're going fishing, and then find out whether you can use live bait, which is just still considered live bait, or artificial lures. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. A lot of times in national forests, waters, private ponds, private lakes, um, protected waters, you're not allowed to use any of this stuff, which is not quote unquote alive. And it would not, but it is considered live bait. It's not artificial, believe it or not. Artificial is plastic, uh, fur, hair, any of that type of stuff, metals, any of that is anything not made out of something natural. And even this, which is, like a bait, it's not considered artificial bait. Okay. So you need to figure out whether you can fish artificial baits or live baits. That's considered live baits right there. Then let's go to the part of what we was talking about. Do you want to fish and try to keep them, or are you looking to uh, throw them back? This is a size 12 hook, folks, and I mean, look, here's my finger. It is tiny. It is very, very tiny. Hard to see, in fact. See, this is a pack of 12, a pack of six of them. There's five of them left in there. All right. I don't know if you can see the little barb right here. I felt it right there. Okay. If you're planning on keeping your fish, you want that bad boy there. You want it there. The chances of catching the fish is probably raised 60%. It's that much of a difference. But if you're not planning on keeping a fish, which I may not, I don't know, I always prepare one anyway. I get a hold of my Dremel, okay? And I smooth this out as much as possible right there. Just wear it down. That's all you're doing. Wearing it down. And it's gone. It's already gone. Yeah. See, it's already gone. I can put one up There we go. It doesn't take 10 seconds even to do it. That one has no more barb on it. It's gone. That barb is gone. See, I can do like that now, where I couldn't do it just now. If you look very carefully at these, you can see on the back side, it still has that little barb, right? You see? Right there. You can see it. Those barbs, man, they probably help you catch at least 60% more fish, just due to the fact that you can't back off of it as much. They try to spit them out, but it makes it so much harder. Getting rid of this barb is going to make it much, much more difficult for me to catch him. But it also makes it much, much easier to get him loose and less likely that he's going to swallow the hook. So the only barb I have is right on the hook itself, and I leave that there. Next thing I always like to do, I like to put glutton for punishment, right? I like to put my finger at the tip of the hook, and I like to hit it a few times. If it doesn't feel sharp enough, a lot of times I'll go to my knife sharpener if I've got a block or grade block or whatever, and I'll sharpen it up just a little bit. That's actually good for the fish if you're turning him loose or keeping him. Okay, better chance of him staying alive the sharper this is, because once it gets in it, once it gets into his mouth, and you go right through his lip, you know it's a much easier chance to just pop him right off and go with it. Okay, so that's another thing. But this one right here now has no barb on it, so I'll definitely put this in a different part of my tackle. Next thing you want to know is, or figure out is how far are you going to be walking, okay? And how much tackle am I going to need? Now, when I go, it depends, and it also depends on how many people you got going with you, okay? I've got 3 sizes I take. See, if I'm using these, this is out the window. These are not going to fit in there, okay? But if I'm going to take this one, for instance, okay? Well, number one, check out the packs of hooks I got. I've got 6 packs of hooks right here, okay? All right. I'll be putting that other one back in there, so it's 7 packs of hooks. Plenty of hooks. Even if you take Big Mama with you, right? It doesn't matter. Keep it in the car, keep it in the lodge, wherever you're staying or whatever. I'm talking strictly from a place you park your vehicle or how far you got to walk from wherever your lodge is or whatever. I'm going to take something like this with me, okay? Number one, it's easy to handle. Okay, it doesn't have a handle to it, but it's easy to handle. Do just like that. Obviously, got a lot of stuff to get together right here. This may not fit in it. If it doesn't, I have a solution for that too. But these probably will. Let's see if they will. I think they will. Yeah. Yeah. See, that one fits in there. Now, for the one it doesn't fit in there, I have two ways I can go about it. I can wrap it in plastic bag, okay, and take it. If I'm going to take a cooler with ice, in case some do get swallowed, then that way this can go in there with it. Or either I can just figure, I just want some small ones of these. Maybe take some worms with me. Whatever I do, take. I've got my weights right here, and I've still got over a half tackle box full of stuff, room to bring whatever I want to. Next thing is creel limits, and I've had people ask me, "What's creel limit?" Well, creel limit is this. One of the places I'm going this week at creel limit is 6. Okay. Another place I'm going in a couple of weeks at creel limit is 4. All right. So the limit of fish that I can take away from the creeks that I'm going to later this week is 6. I can take 6 fish home with me. But the law in the state of Virginia is If there's a creel of 6, that means you can actually have 6 additional fish. You can have as many as 12 in your ownership. Now, there's a stickling point to this. You better not let any of them die. If you do, if they die, they're yours. Those fish die. You got them in a cooler of water. I don't care if it's creek water and the water's running through it and you got them on a stringer or whatever. If they're dying, that's your fish. And that's one that's going to count against you. So if you're limited 6, remember, any of them you've got caught already, you better keep them alive. That way, if you catch over your limit, which you're allowed to do, you got to make sure some of them are able to swim away. And so, I never keep over 6 in my collection. If I'm gonna turn one loose, I'm gonna have 5 left. That way, I know I can keep fishing. So if I know the creel limit's 4, I'm never gonna have over 3 in my cooler at a time. All right. Let's say it's 4 of you guys fishing, 4 of you guys and ladies, okay? Each one of you have to have a cooler in the state of Virginia or a stringer, whatever way you're going to do it. Creel limit of 4, let's say. Well, man, we able to have 16? No, sir. No. Each cooler, each stringer can have up to 4. Or it can hold up to 8, okay? But you cannot have in your possession, walking away from that creek or pond or lake, over 4. You cannot have, if the creel limit's 4, you can take that many with you, okay, when you're leaving. Now, if you're walking up and down the stream and you obviously still fishing, you got to make sure that you make it clear, okay, I'm going fishing in another part of the creek. But if you're walking away from the creek and you're walking back toward your vehicle, you better make sure you only have 4 in your possession if the creel limit is 4. And if somebody else is with you, they better not have over 4 in their possession. So if it's 4 of you going, you better not have over 16 fish when you walk away from that creek in your possession. Now let's say, what else was I going to say? I was going to bring up something else. Creel limits, and that's daily. That's daily for you, okay? So if you catch that many in one day, the next day it starts over. Oh yeah. If you got to walk any distance away from where you're staying or where you're driving, half mile, quarter mile, even a quarter mile, not even that far, even less than, let's say a 1/10 of a mile, where you can see your car, but it's still a ways away. My advice is to either have, number one, a stick, which I think it's probably the best thing to do because it's not so much humane. You're going to stay out of trouble with a lot of things. If you're in a national forest, you better not have a handgun loaded. There's so many things that you can get in trouble with. Guns, any type of ammunition stuff can be problems. I've had people take firecrackers with them and be like, okay, well, if something comes close to me, I'll scare it away. Well, that's all well and good, but a firecracker is not going to do a thing to a bear, to a snake. You're so much better off to have you maybe a wooden stick, even if it's only 2-3 foot long. Even if you know you're probably not going to win with it, at least you put up a battle. And a dog. People don't take care of their animals all the time, and you've got dogs, coyotes, all these type of animals. Strictly for your protection. Hold on to it, just like you would if you were walking up and down the street, doing an everyday walk from your house, and were scared that something could happen. So just for your pure protection, nothing wrong with carrying a little handle, like a wood handle of some sort, 2 or 3 foot long, just for the sake of feeling safe. What else do I like to take with me? Take plenty to drink with you. I'm one to preach about it. I don't drink a lot when I go fishing. I am so much indulged delved into what I'm doing at the time. But it's a good thing to do that. Bring plenty to drink with you when you're fishing. Bring eyewear, even if the sun's not out. Bring you glasses of some sort so a hook doesn't pop back in your face or whatever. And show the other fishermen or fisher ladies respect. Um, Even if you're in a fishing hole before anybody gets there, okay, and somebody brings your child up and they see you're catching them, they're gonna fish right beside of you. Give them a little space. I mean, if you have figured out how to catch the fish and you know what to do, I hear this all the time. Well, this is the best spot to fish at. Well, if it's a pond or lake or whatever, those fish can go wherever they please. And if you're a good enough fisherman, you should be able to move 20 feet this way, 20 feet this way, whatever. Give people their space and still be able to catch your fish. You really should be able to. Uh, Nothing wrong with studying up where you're going. Find out your creel limits. Find out if there's any other state laws or county laws or national laws that are prohibiting you from fishing here without an extra license or so. Find all that out before time. Find all of it out. Make sure you got your license with you in your possession. And it doesn't hurt, like I say, to carry a second. And I always try to keep two. Now sometimes I got three of them. And that way, if you got it in your possession and you're fishing, you're still catching a fish, and a game warden comes up to you, a state trooper now in the state of Virginia can ask for it, not just game warden. Can I see your license? You can pop it out, hand it to them. You don't have to take it out. They have to take it out, do all that stuff. You can keep fishing. You do not have to. They do their job. Now, if you feel like, well, I would feel a lot better if I had two in my possession. Put one in a sock. Put one in another pocket or whatever. And if they say, well, this is not what you need or whatever, and you turn your back for a second and be like, whoa, I had more than that. I thought I had more than that. That's when you reel it in and be like, okay, all right, well, I've got it right here now. And you can look at it now. You don't have to hold it. And then you just show them what you've got going on as far as your fishing license, which this is a fishing license, believe it or not. And they can actually scan it with just like you do a price tag or something, and it'll let them know that it's illegal. Out of state fishing license. Be careful about that, folks. If you live on a state line, pretty close to a state line, and there's a chance that you're going to go walking a little ways and you're fishing in another state, you got to abide by that other state's rules. Okay? Now, in open lakes, more often than not, in open lakes and waters, for instance, I'm going to give you one. There's one down in North Carolina and Virginia. Okay, Bugs Island Lake. I forget the name of the lake, but Bugs Island, Virginia. It's going, it's right on the line. Half of, or a little over half of it's in North Carolina, and a little less than half of it's in Virginia. I understand that if you're fishing on a boat, in most of those waters, or I think all of those waters, you can go by your state's laws. Okay, you have to abide by the state you reside in laws. So if one of them will allow you to catch 15-inch bass, the other one says 17-inch bass, whichever state, let's say your state says 17-inch. Well, if you catch a 16-inch bass, you better throw it back. You better let it go, because that they are very, very strict about that. And make sure you do carry your some sort of measuring stick with you, whether it's a ruler, whether it's a yardstick, whether it's half a yardstick, which in the state of Virginia, all I need is just a ruler for my trout, which in a lot of places you don't need but a 9-inch trout, and some places 12, and then some excess of 12. And now, if you got a ruler and it goes longer than that from the tail all the way to the end, if it's more than 12, you're not going to have a problem. It's not going to shrink. They will get lighter in weight as the day progresses. So, if you're thinking that you may have a state record or a possible record, as soon as you catch a fish like it, you need to go somewhere and get it checked in. Get it checked in ASAP because the weight, leave it in water. Don't freeze it. Leave it in water. Let him swim around, do whatever he wants to. Don't put a lot of water in there, but he doesn't even have to be living, but leave him in water because trust me, that little bit of water that they keep in their gills or whatever is going to make him weigh another ounce, 2 or 3. So it could play a part in how much he weighs. Okay. So definitely do that if you're checking in a fish. Enjoy yourself if you're taking kids out with you. One of the last things, I don't want you to forget this. If you're fishing by yourself in the state of Virginia and you got yourself 3 fishing rods, you better have 2 of them on the bank dry. You can fish with 1 at a time, trout. You can only have 1 line in the water per person. Okay? So you cannot stick your stick up here, put a rod up, walk 30 yards away, put another one up, walk another 30 yards, and put another one up. Don't do that. Do not do that. Because what they're going to do is they're going to see, game warden's going to see 3 lines in there. He's going to say, where's the other 2 people at? And then, this is a kicker in the state of Virginia. For each line in that water excessive over 1, so let's say you've got 3 in there, you're not going to get fined once. You're going to get fined twice. So if your fishing license runs you $30, let's say, chances are you're going to have a $150 fine right there fishing with 2 extra lines in the state of Virginia. They're very tight about that, and they do not. I mean, they do not gag. They're not going to talk to you about it. That is a law that's going to be in place, and they don't care whether you like it, whether you don't like it. It's just the way things are going to be. Keep your phone nearby. Okay, you may not have a lot of good service, but a lot of times you're still able to make that emergency phone call. Keep it charged, and just in case of an emergency. It's always best to take somebody with you fishing too. I'm not always the biggest. A lot of times I like to go fishing by myself, but when I start going trout fishing, number one, you know it's going to be elevation. So more often than not, hills, rocks, whatever, and more animals. A lot more animals that you may not be accustomed to seeing: bears, deer, snakes, coyotes, fox, all these animals. You got more chance of probably seeing them up in the mountains than you do. I'm not so much in the mountains where I live right here. So prepare for them. Sometimes I may even take a little bit of pepper spray and I may just spray around a couple of the bushes right there close by. Okay. Trust me, that will keep some stuff away. Pepper spray. A lot of times I'll take a little bit of 3-in-1 oil just in case I have a problem with one of my reels. Spray a little bit of that around, and it doesn't do anything. And when you're spraying this stuff, don't put it over the water. Do not put it over the water. The fish do not want to be around that stuff. Have fun fishing. I'm certainly going to try to have fun myself. I'm going to get my GoPro out. We're going to see what I can do with it. Find out your laws and regulations of your state, county, and federal. If you are in a national park, that is federal regulated. That is not state regulated. If you're in a state park, then obviously it's state regulated. And find out all those rules before you go. Be ready, because I tell you what, the last thing you want to do is have a fishing rod in your hand 5 feet away from the water, and then all of a sudden somebody tells you, well, sir, ma'am, you got to go do this before you can go fishing. That stinks. And I know when you get your stuff prepared, Know what you're going to use. Know if you're going to use Mr. Small, Mr. Medium, or if you're going to take heavy jumbo here with you. If you don't have far to walk, I got this bad boy full, probably 20 pounds of stuff. Figure out how many rods you want. It's nothing wrong with taking 5 rods with you, 3 rods, whatever you want to do, and be like, okay, well, I might use artificial lure here if it's legal, or I may end up using trout baits of other sorts, if that's legal. And go with one with already a hook on it and some weight. Go with one with a lure on it or whatever, and be all prepared. That way, if you get there and wind's blowing too bad, and like, okay, well, I know casting out and reeling in is going to become a pain. I may want to fish closer to the bottom, whatever. Then, put your weight on it, 18 inches away from the hook, and it'll go down slowly. Put a little light weight on it. That way, they still have enough time to hit it on the way down. And also, read up on YouTube. Read up on all sorts of places you can learn more about fishing from better people than me. That's for sure. But I've been fishing for the better part of 40 years, and I've had a lot of success over the years. But I'm not a professional, and I don't even profess to be. But yeah, read up on what you're going to do. There's nothing wrong with that. Be prepared for what your trip has in mind for you, and go there with the expectations that if number 1 doesn't work, maybe number 2 will. If number 2 doesn't work, number 3 will work, and go with a plan B, C, and D, whatever it is, and be ready for rain, be ready for wind, be ready for hot, be ready for cold. If you're ready for all 4 of those, you should be in pretty good shape because, you know, if a deluge could happen, you can still catch fish. If it's snowing, you can still catch fish. Roughly the only time you're not going to catch fish is if there's a hurricane coming through or something like that, and the winds are so bad that you just can't fight through 35, 45, 55-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, it's just when you're just going to find something indoors, find something else to do. But thank you for watching my channel. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button down there, and then up here, hit that thumbs up button as well. I've got 118 subscribers, and they hang around with me for some reason. So be 119 and go with me on this long trip or short trip or whatever, fishing, and I'm going to be doing more and more of it. I've got my GoPro ready. I'm getting everything prepared. I'm seeing if I can find another battery somewhere. Batteries for GoPros are hard to find, so I got to try to see if I can find me one more battery for my GoPro. But this weekend upcoming, I'm going to try to do some trout fishing. Streams about anywhere from 12 to 18, maybe 2 feet deep in places. More often than not, it's under 12 inches deep. It's not very deep at all. And it's not a long trip for me, a little over an hour, about an hour and a half away. And I'm going up in the mountains, that's for sure. And I've yet to figure out who I'm going to take with me. I got a couple of brothers I could take. And I'll only take one person with me. I don't take 5 people with me. I'll just take one person with me, one of my friends, and we'll see if we can catch some fish for you. If we can, we'll try to get as good a camera views for you. You got to understand this will be my first outing with a GoPro. So if I stink it up bad, then if everything's too high, too low, whatever, then I'll be prepared when I go to the lake the following weekend, and actually for a whole week. We're going for a whole week starting at the end of the month and through Halloween week. So I'm going to be fishing a lot over the next 2.5 weeks, and I'm looking forward to it. Really am. And this upcoming week, I'm doing as much as I can to prepare to go and make it where I don't have as much stuff going on. Got my Dremel in place. Got my hooks right here that I'm gonna grind, and we'll fix some hooks up where I don't have barbs on it. I always keep some that do have barbs on it. If somebody's with me, it's like, man, I'd love to have those fish. All right, well, that's cool. I'll keep my 4 or my 6, whatever my creel limit is, but I won't keep over 3 or 4 at a time. And then at the end, if I can catch 1 or 2, to catch 6, that'll be good. But as long as I'm fishing, I'm wanting to keep fishing. I'm not going to go over my creel limit. That's for sure. And I don't even like to hold over the limit of fish. I never go creel though. If it's 6 and I can hold 12, I'd never have 12 in my possession for fear that 6 may die, and that's my day of fishing then. So uh, just be aware of your laws, regulations in your area. Have fun with it. Uh, find equipment that is what you need. If you're a beginning fisherman, you may want a closed face rod, closed face reel, rather. A little more, if you know a little bit more about what you're doing, get your open face rod. And I was doing pretty well today. I'm actually getting ready to go fishing. I was just did a whole trout fishing video right here, and I'm going to be going up in the mountains this weekend, and we're going to see if we can do some trout fishing. Then I'm going to be going up in the state further, up around Charlottesville area, in the ski lodge areas. It's nice today. It's a little breezy, a little sunny, but we had some rain yesterday, what we needed, and trying to keep up with now with when they're going to stock the trout in the area. That's going to make a difference as to what I can catch and all. Danny and Gray's Cards and Toys. Check out his videos. He's been he went and saw Richard Petty the other day, and I get is Gray your son? Is Gray your son? But he's got a young son, and he just he includes him with almost everything he does. Yeah, that's his son, and he includes him into everything he does on his videos. You got to check out his YouTube channel. It's Danny in Gray's Cards and Toys, and check it out. Check it out. All you got to do is go right here after you look at my video. Check out all the people I follow. Danny is one of them. So all you got to do is hit that. You can go over to his videos and it shows it. And it's got a real cool picture of Richard Petty there. Yeah, doing great, doing great. If you didn't check out my whole video, spin this bad boy back to 33 minutes and watch the beginning of it. See what I do as far as my fishing licenses, tackle box, rules that you have to follow, state rules and federal rules, and why in the world would I need a Dremel? Well, you'll see why you need a Dremel if you're going to go fishing with me. Okay? Live bait, even if it ain't live, folks, this is considered live bait. Artificial's totally different. So if you have to use artificial, know what you're doing and know what size tackle box you're using. Okay? If you're not going to be going fishing long and you got plenty of room, take a little bitty. If you're going to be fishing for a while, take old medium size. And if you decide, well, I just don't have a clue and I don't have that far to walk, take old big boy with you. Big boy, be ready. And don't forget how many fishing lines you put in the water. If you're trout fishing, 1. Don't exceed that. Okay? If you got other people with you fishing, have them close to where their fishing line is, or they're going to get you. They're going to burn you up. Okay? My name is Rob, and I appreciate all my support on my YouTube channel. Thanks so much. God bless. Have a great, great day. Shout out to Danny and Gray's. Shout out to everybody that's been watching my channel. So many of you, I can't even keep up with everything's going on. Alan and Joe, I hope Joe enjoys those things Mrs. Rob made for you. So, show them off over in the UK. Okay, bud? And until I see you again, God bless. Have a great, great day. And let's have some more rain very, very soon. Okay, guys? And go fishing with me here soon. Okay? Thanks a lot.